Last week, we ran the first race of 2024 on the channel, and one of the longest-running drivers went to victory lane to claim the first official win of 2024. Nicholas Samedeo has now won in every single year of competition, 10 straight years. Will he do it again here tonight? We're at the South Boston Speedway for the second round of the Champion Superstar Series. 2 heats and a feature on this Thursday night here in southeastern Virginia. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the South Boston Speedway. We are here for the second of 3 rounds here in the Champion Superstars Series, and wouldn't you know it, last week SRX announced that they weren't coming back this year, but hey, we still got our own little version of it. We're going to have some fun here tonight, just like we did last Friday night, and hey, I think we're all excited for tomorrow night. We officially fill the field for the Wawa Cup Series and the full-time rides and the HERS Sprint Series. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. We're going to have a live stream, all that stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's all I got to say. I'm joined alongside a driver, though, who's already in a ride for the Wawa Cup Series next year. He's going to be driving that 97 for NS Racing. Andrew Miller, it's been a little bit. I think this Thanksgiving 500 was the last race he called with me, and we got the winner of that race with us here tonight. But you have no clue what this even is. We were talking about it like I wanted to have you on board for this call, and you haven't even seen a race, haven't seen the cars, you don't know what it is. Well, now you have some bit of an idea of what we're doing tonight. What do you expect here with these 25-lap heat races and this 50-lap feature here at South Boston?
Aside from an SRX ripoff, I'm just kidding. It's awesome, but no, I think it's going to be really cool to see how everyone's going to approach it. But with it being a short track like this, short races, especially these sprints, you got to be starting up at the front. That's going to be a big factor in this. You could definitely work your way from the back to maybe a good finishing position. But track position is going to be a big key in getting yourself a good result here. So look for these guys up here probably in the top 4 to be the main contenders for the wins here for the sprints. Of course, the main feature going to be a little bit longer. Could throw in some more wild cards in there. What we're just got to see. But I think for these guys starting up front, they're already looking pretty darn good.
And of course, the thing about it here for the 2 heat races, we invert the finishing results of this first heat in heat number 2, and then we take the average finishing position to determine the starting lineup for the feature event. So, well, yes, it's good to win the first heat. You start in the last position in the second heat if you do so. So you definitely have to know what you're doing in terms of moving your way through the field. We saw a lot of that last week at Winchester. We might see a bit of that this week as well at South Boston. I played with that I&I a little bit. We got a loose racetrack here tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun with these 12 Superstar Series drivers. I almost call them SRX drivers, but, you know, I guess we can rip them off now. I mean, I don't know. IROC's coming back, you know. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do next year for this? It's going to be IROC again. We're going to do Napa IROC again, or NR IROC, you know. Actually, that's already going on. Stephen Colon now doing the NR He actually did NR IROC. So, hey, we got our own thing going here. That's all that matters. And 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, no, 2 weeks from now, we got the Meliola Smooth Fest in the Wawa Cup Series, so that's what we're all looking forward to. Of course, next week, we have the new Smyrna here in the Superstar Series. I'm excited for that. That's a great racetrack, and of course, the Smooth Fest the week after that. We got a lot of stuff coming up here, and I'm excited. But we got some good racing here tonight on this Thursday night. This lineup in the point standings in. The starting lineup for this heat race determine inverse of the point standings for the 10 full-timers and the 2 drivers who are voted in start in the last row. So Thomas Trox will last in points. We'll start on the pole for this first heat. It's Ludovic Charette, who is the points leader, 36 total points. And then 2 points behind is the feature winner from last week, Nicholas Samedeo. Angel Gutierrez is 5 points behind. Justin Zeidel was in last week's race. He's tied with Gutierrez, but he's not going to be in any more races, so he's not going to win the championship. And they got Avery Alford there, 6 points behind coming into this event. Of course, 12 points for a heat win, all the way down to 1 point for finishing 12th in a heat, and then the points are doubled in the feature, with a bonus point going to the winner, 25 to the winner of the feature event, and only the feature event counts as an official channel win. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off for the first heat of the night. We'll go ahead and give you the starting lineup here for this first heat. We got Thomas Troxel and Luna Lona on the front row. They're at the back of the field in points. Drew Webb and Matt Tuck there in row number 2. You got Vinny Scholes and Blaine Keys in row 3. Avery Alford, Angel Gutierrez in row number 4. The last feature winner, Nicholas Samadio, opening up the year with a win alongside Ludovic Charette. And we haven't even talked about our voted drivers, I should say. Stuart Gratton, the fan vote for this week, and then my personal pick, the Thanksgiving 500 champion of Brett Hill in that 79. Here we go. We're green flag racing at South Boston. A great jump out of Troxel there at the start.
Already a few car lengths up ahead there, and there's that inside lane already starting to prevail. And just like that, Luna Lona started second. Already barely holding on to a top 5 here, actually. Yeah.
And already!
Oh, goodness!
Drew Webb around in the 99. Not entirely sure what happened there, but he's going to fall to the back of the field. And look at that, the race back to the line won by Troxel. You know, I was just about to mention last week at Winchester, that outside lane had absolutely no grip. That's the same thing we got here tonight as Luna Lona. He's actually going to be 5th here when we get back to racing. And we weren't even focusing on that. Brett Hill's got some damage in the 79. He was caught up in that one. Of course, the last time you were in the booth, this guy went to victory lane. There's the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. But unfortunately for Brett Hill, doesn't look like he's going to get this heat win at least, but they're going to get new cars going forward for the next heats. So let's go ahead and see what happened there to bring up the first caution of the night. Definitely a fascinating little moment right there. Drew Webb going around up front here at South Boston Speedway. All right, yeah, we got no grip going on that outside lane right here. Thomas Troxel just loses it and tries to stay in the gas, and that's probably not the best idea when you're going into the exit at that angle, and the way that wall kind of juts out there, as you can see. Drew Webb was about to take the race lead away, and he got spun off by the 62. And Vinny Scholes gets some damage there on the inside. Brett Hill's going to come in. Stuart Gratton also gets caught up as well in the 79. Or 75, excuse me. Brett Hill's in the 79. Yeah, that's, you know, short track racing. I think they might be going a little too fast around here, so we'll fix that for the next heat. But Drew Webb going around. He'll restart in the back of the field when we get back to racing here at South Boston.
Going in hot, keeping in the throttle. Nicks that first outside wall, which just sends him straight into the wall there. He's still going to hold on to the lead, but Drew Webb, unfortunately, going to be on the short end of that stick. And barely hold on to the lead at that. Look at that little drag race there. Coming back to the caution flag, but crazy. Yeah, Alex, I think that yeah, these guys are going to have to calm it down maybe just a smidge for the rest of the night.
I think you're right. Well, let's go ahead and get back to racing, though, for this one. We still might have some crazy moments here in heat number 1, the South Boston Speedway in the Champion Superstar Series. All right, we're back here at the South Boston Speedway, and yeah, Drew Webb, you know, he dominated in the Wall Wild Cup Series last year. He's had some struggles going on here in the Superstar Series to start off the year. Of course, this is an equal rating series, so you know, all about the luck, but only 12 cars in the field, so it's not that hard to win these races, but Drew Webb found a way to make it hard right there. Thomas Troxel, Avery Alford, hey, Nicholas Samadio already up to 3rd, Matt Tuck and Luna Lona. They're single file on the restart. We're back underway on lap 8 of 25. And they're all going a little wide right there. Oh, and Luna Lona hard on the outside wall.
I was about to say, this would be interesting to see how single file restart is going to be. Oh my gosh, these guys have no grip.
Not at all. We might make some changes for Heat 2. Matt Tuck there for 2nd. Blaine Keys looking there on Thomas Troxel. And how about Angel Gutierrez? Did an excellent job in the feature last week. I think he started dead last in that feature and almost got the win on Nicholas Samadio. Just couldn't quite pull it off. But he's up to the 4th position right there as Troxel falls back to 5th.
Boy, short track special right here. Everything is just happening so quickly. Look at 79 there. Not showing any forceful wear with the damage. Actually, going to climb up pretty nicely here.
And you got Matt Tuck back out front, or should I say up front. He hasn't been up front all night, but he just took the lead away from Avery Alford, and he's got Blaine Keys right behind him. Of course, Blaine drove for Matt Tuck in the Truck Series over the fall and won 3 races for Matt's team. And now he is all over the back bumper of this 70, or should I say 54 Matt Tuck for this race lead. You got Angel Gutierrez here in the 16 running third. Alfred, a little wide there again. Nicholas Samedio's fallen back quite a bit as lost a lot of grip. What's going on with my man Stuart Gratton? Of course, the vote in for this race. You know, everyone loves Stuart. I've known Stuart for 10 years. My goodness, I've known him for a while. Known him longer than you, Andrew. Gonna make a move on Nicholas Samedio right there, I should say. These guys have no grip and around again. Brett Hill.
Oh, just as I mentioned, that he was looking pretty good there, despite the damage, and I had to say something, didn't I?
We're going to knock the strength down for the next heat race, just to keep these guys in check. But hey, you know, what's wrong with having a little fun on a short track Thursday night? I just want to say Saturday night, but it's Thursday night. Well, very interesting way to start this whole shebang here at South Boston. We didn't even have a caution in either of the heat races last week. We already got 2 in the first one. What these guys need to do to keep it in line, because they are having some trouble on that inside lane.
I mean, I guess it's as you mentioned. I mean, with this being just like kind of a prestige series, I guess would be the way to call it. Just kind of having fun, and they're just letting it hang out. And obviously, yeah, they're being very aggressive with how they're driving it, and a bunch of guys sliding up. But as you said, though, I mean, hey, we're just kind of here having fun, and I've certainly been having a good time. I don't know about some of these guys, though, have been going up and hitting the wall. They've definitely, they might want to fix the tire pressures, maybe. I think that's what we should do. By that, I mean fix the strength.
Yeah, that's we're gonna knock it down. I think I put it a little too high for this heat race, so we're gonna do some things to it. But hey, we're having fun. That's the whole point of this series, is to have some fun during a time where there's not much racing going on. Of course, we mentioned Wall Cup Series coming in a couple of weeks. We got signups tomorrow night. So excited for all that. We're just getting amped up for that here with the Superstar Series. Let's go ahead and quickly see what happened to Brett Hill and get back to racing here in heat number 1 at South Boston. Alright, we're going to replay this just once, since we already saw it happen earlier. We got Brett Hill in, well, actually, he did the same thing that Troxel did that first wreck, basically. And ended up clipping Troxel in the process. Stuart Gratton also caught up minimally as well. I don't know, after what we've seen, it's anybody's race here in heat number 1. Let's go ahead and see who gets it here in heat number 1 at the South Boston Speedway. Alright, let's try it again. 6 to go when we cross the line here in heat number 1. And Matt Tuck trying to gain some points here. This came in 13 points off the points lead. 12 points for the win here if he can pull it off. You know, we haven't really talked too much about Ludovic Charette. He's kind of been midway through the field this entire heat. He's going to restart in the 6th position right there. You got Matt Tuck, Vinny Scholes, Angel Gutierrez, and Blaine Keys. The top 4. Here we go. 6 to go at South Boston in heat 1 of the Superstar Series.
Good jump there, but we'll see when things are going to start to happen.
A little wide there. They're 3 wide. Samedio on Troxel and Luna Lona. And for the race lead, here comes Vinny Scholes, going to take it away with 5 laps to go. Gutierrez in line as well. And Ludovic Charette, our points leader, coming in too tonight. Up to the 4th position, there's Alfred, there's Samedio on the inside lane. It's just like it was at Winchester. That inside lane is very dominant, and Matt Tuck stuck on that outside, slipping back again. For the lead, Gutierrez on Scholes, and Scholes is going to hit the outside wall.
Remember what I said about track position before we started?
Yeah, you didn't know what I did to the I&I, man.
No, I didn't. This
by the way, there's Stewart. He's up to 5th now. Brett Hill was involved in that accident. Oh boy, look at these guys. They're just all over the place. 3 wide back in there. Ludovic's falling back a little bit. And then you got Troxel to the inside of Keys and Charette. You know, Ludovic may end up finishing dead last in this heat. Vinny Scholes a little wide again, but Angel Gutierrez is out of here in the 16. Trying to get 12 points. You know, he might end up taking the points lead, but Sam Dios is also closing in here. Gutierrez has to be careful not to tap the outside wall here. White flag in heat 1. And Sam Dios going to try it here on Avery Alford. Oh, and how about Stewart?
Oh!
In the wall. Gutierrez is going to win heat number 1. Nicholas Samedia will finish 2nd. And Avery Alford, Luna Lona, and Thomas Troxel, the top 5. Blaine Key's going to finish in last, and I don't even know if he hit the wall in this race. My goodness, that was all over the place right there. We'll invert them for heat number 2. Not that I think that matters after what we just saw right there. But that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. So now, Andrew, now that you've seen a race here, you like what you're seeing here in this Superstar Series?
I'm definitely entertained. I definitely agree with maybe calming them down a little bit for the next for the next one in the main, but no, yeah, that was like I said, we're just having fun, and yeah, we're definitely having a good time. I mean, it's 12 drivers, and that's about as much action as you'll ever see out of a 12-car field. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, we can't do what we did with a larger field than 12 cars, but we have a little more of a leeway because we have a smaller field, which is nice. So, Blaine Keys and Ludovic Charette will finish, or should I say start on the front row for the next heat race. Angel Gutierrez with 12 points, Nicolas Samadia with 11 points. So, going into this next heat, Nicolas Samadia is the new points leader. So, we'll have to see how it all ends up shaking out at the end of the night. You'll see the points after all the heat races and features at the end of the video later on. So we won't focus too much on that. But let's go ahead and get to heat number 2 here at South Boston Speedway. Maybe tone it down a little bit here and get that figured out. And we'll be on our way to the feature event in just a few minutes. All right, we are back here at the South Boston Speedway, and we have toned the strength down just a little bit, so maybe these guys don't slam the outside wall as much. Still only the 2 cautions in that first heat, though, and everybody still finished. And hey, those guys involved in the accident still ended up finishing pretty well. Angel Gutierrez won the first heat. He's got 12 more points towards the championship. Nicolas Samadia finished second. And those are the 2 guys who finished 1-2 in the reverse order at Winchester in the feature. So watch out for those guys. They might be moving their way through the field here in this second heat. Blaine Keys and Ludovic Charette were the lowest 2 drivers, and they're going to start on the front row here. And with the toned down strength, do you think they're going to have a better chance at hanging up in the front during this second heat?
I absolutely think so. I think that'll kind of that'll help that inside lane out a little bit more and prevent these guys from sliding up so much, and especially pounding that turn 2 wall with that opening there. That's what caused obviously the 2 cautions that we had in the first race. So I think my initial expectation of track position being important might come in a little more into effect for this one. But we'll see. Obviously, last race showed I don't know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're going to have some fun.
We'll all see. We'll all see here. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off here for heat number 2. And it is Blaine Keys in the 41 machine who is going to lead us off alongside Ludovic Charette. You got Brett Hill and Drew Webb in row number 2. They both got involved in accidents in that first heat. Matt Tuck, Stuart Grattan, good buddies there in row 3. Vinny Scholes, Thomas Troxel, Luna Lona, Avery Alford, and then we mentioned Nicolas Samadia and Angel Gutierrez. We'll see if they move their way through the field again. If they do that, if Gutierrez sweeps the 2 heats, he will automatically start on the pole for the feature event, which is 50 laps here tonight. So heat number 2 about to get underway. Blaine Keys and Ludovic Charette. And lead us to the green flag. Here we go, back underway at the South Boston Speedway.
First 2 laps are going to be very telling on how the decreased strength is going to be. Everyone's still kind of getting up and running there.
Already past 4 guys in the first lap. That 16 is looking very quick here tonight. And watch out for Gutierrez once we get to the feature. He was very strong last week. Here comes Brett Hill with a nose to the inside of Blaine Keys, and he's going to bump Blaine out of the way and get that lap led. Of course, no bonus points for leading laps here. Matt Tuck on the inside, Vinny Scholes, and they're definitely a lot more controlled this time than they were in that first heat.
A little more controlled, but they're still, oh my goodness, look at the slide up. There goes Hill.
Again.
Wow. Definitely not as bad as the first time. Yeah, they were almost out of control. But now they're being aggressive here. But that's because they know that it's safe. It's only 25 laps. Go or go home.
Luna Lona up to second as Matt Tuck is out front. And how about Angel Gutierrez looking to sweep these heats? And you know what? In terms of this Superstar Series Championship, that's going to be huge. And even if the feature doesn't quite go his way, he doesn't go to victory lane there, he's going to gain a lot of points from these heat races and really gain a buffer, but he's going to slip up a little bit. Grattan to the inside for third. Luna looking to the inside. Now Luna going to be driving for Matt Tuck's IndyCar team this year. Hey, that also is coming up. Caleb Rowe's going to be running a majority of the series. I'll still be doing the Indy 250, but we're excited for that to return again. The 10th year, actually technically the 11th year of the Haas IndyCar series. We're excited for that. And Caleb Rowe's ushering in a new era of open wheel racing on the channel. Avery Alford to the inside of Matt Tuck, and you get stuck in that outside lane, you just fall back. Just the same thing that we saw last week at Winchester. We're seeing it here tonight at South Boston.
Yeah, but yeah, it definitely, we've got a lot cleaner racing here. I mean, there's a lot of sliding, a lot of bumping. Yeah, there goes Grattan now. Oh, it's almost making some contact there. But yeah, if there is any remote chance that the guy behind is going to be able to get to the inside, that's just going to cause the guy on the outside to just slide way up, especially with the less grip up there. Is still got Luna leading, my favorite driver.
I don't think he's going to lead too long, though. Tap the outside wall. Avery Alford, who won a heat race last week at Winchester. Definitely a solid driver, and we're excited to see what he does in the Wall Cup Series this year. He's going to move to the inside here for the race lead. How about Thomas Troxel? He was at the back of the field not too long ago. He's already now up to second. These guys have shuffled around quite a bit. Gutierrez now falling back to the end of the field right there, and you got Vinny Schultz at the back there with Nicholas Sambidio. Matt Tuck also losing ground there to Drew Webb. Blaine Keys, Ladova Charette's gotten around him right there. Brett Hill back on Stuart Grattan, and Troxel looking for the race lead here on lap 13 in heat number 2, and he's going to take it away from Avery Alford. So many different leaders. There's no point in us having a bonus point for leading a lap because essentially everyone leads a lap in each of these races. That's the way it's been going. Brett Hill, Thanksgiving 500 champion. This only his second ever start on the channel, but of course won the third biggest race on the channel. Only behind the Indy 250 and Daytona 500, of course. He's up to second now here in this heat, trying to help his average out after what happened to him in the first heat. Avery Alford, though, it looks like he may end up getting another pole. I think he had the pole for the Winchester feature, and he's got a good average here tonight so far, but he's going to lose another position as Luna moves back to the inside.
Yeah, I thought Lona was starting to really struggle there, but starting to find some grip once again. And, I mean, of course, we say, like, oh, yep, there goes the leader starting to check out. But as we've seen already, it doesn't take long for something to go, for something to happen. And then for that race for the lead to spice back up.
Avery Alford, though, he's losing a lot more ground again. Gutierrez back to the inside. Sambidio. Haven't really seen much of Mr. Edge tonight. Of course, we didn't really see much of him until the feature, and he ended up winning the feature last week at Winchester. Stuart Grattan moving to the inside of him there, and Grattan's got a nose to the inside of Alford. Meanwhile, Thomas Troxel, 1.42 seconds on the field right now. Blaine Keys for second there on Brett Hill. Looking pretty good for Blaine right now in the 41 machine. You got the 99 and Drew Webb here. Looking to get around Brett Hill as well. This has been a solid run for Drew Webb here in this heat race. Sam Gutierrez and Lona. They got into it right there, and Luna's going to slip back tremendously. A lot of damage on that 00 right there.
Can't believe they kept it going straight. They just went straight into that wall. Again, that turn 2 wall that sticks out, and it's just going to cause so much more damage than just clipping the wall on 4 here. So good on him for keeping it going, but that hurt.
And Troxel's got to be careful because Blaine Keys is starting to close in here in the 41. Of course, Blaine Keys, the defending winner of the Meliello Smooth Fest. You know, we're at New Smyrna next week for the finale of the Superstar Series. That might be in his wheelhouse. But of course, Drew Webb, we know he's a solid driver, and he's going to have a good chance here at getting a good run at least. I don't know if he's going to get the win. Troxel's still ahead by over a second. And Nicholas Sambidio now in the top 5, trying to get some points here in this heat race, as Luna is now the last driver in the field, so she's struggling a little bit right there. Avery Alford to the inside of Gutierrez, and Brett Hill just blew up in the 79. Uh-oh.
Right at the end.
So Brett Hill's going to only get 1 point here. He'll probably end up starting last in the feature, but as we have seen, where you start really doesn't matter too much to where you finish. White flag in Heat 2 for Thomas Troxel. Drew Webb is within a second here. It's going to take a major mistake out of Troxel for Drew Webb to have a shot. Don't think it's going to quite work out that way. Thomas Troxel going to get 12 points towards the championship after he came into this event last in points, so nearly double what he had coming into the night right there. Drew Webb, Blaine Keys, Stuart Gratton, and Nicholas Amadio, the top 5 here in Heat number 2.
I definitely think we made the right call there with the changing the strength up, but still though, like there was a lot of movement throughout the field. Track position once again meaning pretty much nothing. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut for the feature.
We'll have to see. Camshaft on Brett Hill. These are spec cars, so who does he get mad at? I guess he gets mad at me.
I mean, you did build these cars technically.
I guess in theory, you know, I don't know. Thomas Troxel, Drew Webb right there, 1-2. Hey, that was a common sight in the Wall Cup Series last year. Blaine Keys in third, Gratton and Sam. Look at that top 5 right there. I mean, granted, everyone in this series, you know, they're pretty solid drivers, but I think in terms of the Wall Cup Series more specifically, Troxel, Webb, Keys, Sam Adio, some of the best. Matt Tuck up there as well. And then the guys behind him really didn't run in the Cup Series with the exception of Charette. So the Cup guys having a lot more say, I think, in this heat at least. So let's go ahead. We're going to tally it all up. We'll give you guys the official starting lineup here in just a moment. Having some fun here on a Thursday night at South Boston Speedway. Let's go ahead and get to the feature event here in the Champion Superstar Series. And here we go, ready for the feature event here on this Thursday night at the South Boston Speedway. We've seen some crazy racing so far. Now we get to do it for 50 laps in a straight race and 25 points towards the winner. I don't know if Ludovic Charette's going to be your points leader, though, after tonight, because he did not run well in those heat races. Thomas Troxel with the best average in those first 2 heats. Of course, he won heat number 2. He gained 20 total points right there from those first 2 heats, so he more than doubled the amount that he had coming into the night. Nicholas Amadio there with a great average. Same with Angel Gutierrez. Those 2 drivers in particular. Same with Avery Alford. Those are the 3 guys behind Charette in the points. They have the next 3 best averages, and they're all going to be up there in the championship standings, especially if they finish up there here in this feature event. All right, Andrew. We've seen these 25-lap heat races. Got the same strength as we did in heat number 2. Of course, we still saw these guys tap that outside wall, do some crazy things, slide around and all that. We're going to be much later in the run near the end of this race. How do you think that's going to play out with the tire wear being a little bit more than it was at the end of those first 2 heats?
Boy, that's a good question. Well, first off, track position be darned. But I think if you can keep it on that inside lane, I think that's going to be the best way to just keep the tires under you, keep them from sliding and thus wearing them down. So I think whoever's going to be the cleanest, the most consistent, I think is going to be in with a pretty good shot at it at the end. Of course, if we get any cautions, which we did not in the Heat 2, so we'll see if we get any here. Of course, that could also play into it. So I'll be interested to see how that works out. But yeah, I think the key will just be keep it clean, keep it on the inside, and you'll do well.
We're going to have to see how it all goes down. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the race winner gets an official win on the channel and 25 points towards the Superstar Series Championship, which we will crown a champion next week in New Smyrna, and that's a crazy place as well. Hey, I knew what I was doing. I made the schedule up for this little event here. I knew what I was doing. Hey, Thomas Troxel on the pole, like I mentioned, starting alongside the number 59 of Nicholas Amadio, who won the feature last week at Winchester. Angel Gutierrez, very strong. He won the first heat here tonight to the inside of Avery Alford. We got Drew Webb, and then the number 75 of Stuart Gratton. The only race for Gratton, but an opportunity for him to get a race victory as a driver. Vinny Scholes will start to the inside of Matt Tuck there in row number 4. You got the 00 of Luna Lona and Blaine Keys, and then Ludovic Charette and Brett Hill. Not a good run for Brett Hill here tonight. But hey, only his second ever start on the channel, by far the least experienced driver in the field. He's definitely had his fair share of issues as he blew up in that second heat right there, which definitely hurt his average. We're going to go ahead, get these drivers to roll off here from the South Boston Speedway. And Andrew, I will now finally ask you, who do you think is going to win the feature event here in this Champion Superstar Series event here on this Thursday night?
Oh boy, you can throw a dart at a dartboard on this one, and that person would have a good chance to win. But I'm gonna go with experience. I'm gonna go with Stuart Gratton.
Definitely an interesting pick right there. Of course, this is going to be Stuart's only race in the Superstar Series. Hey, why not take advantage of it in that 75 machine? Here we go. We're going to have some fun here. 50-lap feature event. The green flag is in the air. We're underway here at South Boston Speedway. And Troxel's going to lead lap number 1, that outside lane, just like it was at Winchester, with absolutely no grip at the start of the race. Angel Gutierrez looking to the inside of Thomas Troxel for the race lead. He's going to take it away. Here comes Drew Webb as well. Vinny Scholes, that inside lane, that entire inside lane is essentially ahead of everyone who started on the outside lane at this point. But Troxel slipping up in that 62, and for the race lead, Drew Webb on Gutierrez.
Could be a lot of cycling here for the first.
Oh, and already a caution. Ow.
Oh, caution. Oh.
Great job, man. Great job.
Wow.
That's the ultimate jinx right there. That was quick. That's a new world record for a jinx here on AG the channel. Thankfully, I think Stuart. Oh, we got Matt Tuck also caught up in this. Oh, brother, the two guys who don't work very well together. They didn't work well together in that moment, and they may end up going a lap down because of this.
Tuck especially, man. That front end is hate.
Yeah, they're not gonna win this one here tonight for Matt Tuck. That's a tough one, and Stuart Gratton as well. Unless he can get back out there, but a lot of damage on that 75 as well. Going to leave us 10 drivers on the racetrack with Drew Webb leading. I forget, I was going to say something before that all occurred there, and I completely forgot what it was. So we'll go ahead and just review the accident and get back to racing here at the South Boston Speedway for the feature event here this Thursday night in the Champion Superstar Series. Yeah, Stewart here. It's a little too much sauce into the corner. We've seen that a lot tonight. Got in the Alfred, and Matt Tuck also slid up into him, and right there. That's not a good angle, and unfortunately, Stewart will be out for the night because of that hit. Matt Tuck buckle on the hood for that 54. I think he's going to end up a lap down as well. Yeah, man. You got to explain yourself. You got to explain yourself, man. You're going to have a long apology to Stewart after that one.
Yeah, just a little too much there, and then yeah, just I am very sorry to Mr. Gratton for that one, and I'll probably be saying sorry again a little bit later, just because that's how I am. But don't worry, Stuart. I'll give you a good apology. I'll even break out the ukulele for you.
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. But
it's for the better, probably.
Whatever. Whatever. We'll just let that be. Drew Webb, your race leader. We're just getting started here for the feature. Let's see who gets it done in the feature here from the South Boston Speedway. We are back here at the South Boston Speedway. A quick caution there between Stuart Gratton and Matt Tuck, and just got worse for Stuart. He is out of the race here in this feature event. That's a tough one. This is the only race he's going to be in. Y'all voted him in. And, oh boy, he came up quite short there. But, hey, you know what? We're back underway. Drew Webb, Angel Gutierrez, Vinny Scholes, Luna Lona, Ladovic, Sharef, the top 5. Here we go. Drew Webb, he had a couple-month absence right there. And then he came back, ran in the Christmas Eve showdown. I'm sure he'd love to dominate this race. We got some 3 wide back here. Blaine Keys, Avery Alford, Nicholas Samadeo. They got to be careful there. They're all over the place back here.
Oh, man, I'm glad to see that no one got hooked But a few guys getting really close to doing so. Yeah, yet. I don't know how long that's going to last.
Meanwhile, Drew Webb continuing to hold on, a little bit more orderly up front. Vinny Scholes there in second. Luna Lona is third. Oh, maybe not for long, though. A little wide there. Here comes the 41 of Blaine Keys, and then Thomas Troxel started on the pole. Fell back initially right there, but definitely found a lot of speed late in that second heat, and he might be in a good position right now. Also, like to mention, Matt Tuck is a lap down in the 54, but he is still out there. But he's definitely a bit off the pace, and we got a pass for the lead. Vinny Scholes to the inside of Drew Webb. You know, Vinny won a lot of races in the now defunct Energy Drink Pro Series. I tell you, it's been a week. Nick Saban retired. I mean, I tell you, man, I've been reeling this week. But hey, Vinny Scholes won a lot of races in the Pro Series, and you know what? She's taking that experience to heart here in the Superstar Series, getting around the Wall Cup Series champion right there. How about that for Vinny?
That's awesome. And pulling a little bit of a gap here. Of course, we know that these gaps usually don't last long. Just also wanted to say, since he is now out of the race, Stuart, I'm so sorry for the absolute worst commentator's jinx in the history of NR2003. But I don't think it's ever going to get worse than that. But everyone's starting to get maybe a little strung out here. We'll see. We'll see if this calms anyone down or not, and maybe how long that'll last.
Nicholas Samadia, who won last week's feature, currently in the 7th position. Gutierrez and Alfred, you know, those are the three guys who are right behind Ludovic in the points. Who gained a lot of points in the heats, and they're all behind Ludovic right now. Blaine Keys, yeah, he only got 11 points, though, and he's just a position ahead. So we're looking at another pass for the race lead. Drew Webb back to the inside, and they're closing in here, I do believe. No, they're not. I was just seeing things, but imagine that before the end of this race, they're going to close in on Matt Tuck. Drew Webb there going to take the race lead back away from Vinny Scholes and do so decidedly. And don't look now, Ludovic Charette's up to third. Massively struggled in the heats, finished 11th in both heats. Well, here he is looking on Vinny Scholes for the second position right now. And you know what? He's going to get to the inside and take that away. Luna Lona there in fourth, and Sam Medeo there now up to the 6th position as Blaine Keys is starting to fall back in the 41 machine.
So got your comers and goers. That 98 starting to struggle as well. So a little bit of a move there.
Luna
Lona now getting to the inside there, and yeah, 98 is really starting to struggle here. We saw that with Lona though in the second heat, and then she was able to come back. So I don't know. It really seems like there are moments where they're just pushing it too hard, and then other moments where once they settle it back down, they're good. Like Lona's doing right now, passing a bunch of guys. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see like what we were talking about before the race started with the tire wear and how this could play into that.
Mm-hmm. You know, Drew Webb's kind of pulling away right here. Oh boy, is that a sign of things to come once again in the Wall Cup Series. Oh boy, a little wide though right there. And you know, just do that, you're gonna lose a lot of momentum. I think that's what happens. And you get stuck in the outside lane, you continue to lose momentum. And that's what happened right there to Ludovic Charette in the 51. It's what happened to Vinny a few laps ago, but she rebounded. Now Troxel easily taking third away from the 98. And my money's on Troxel to win this feature event. I know Drew Webb's got a pretty significant lead, but we're only halfway through this feature now, and that 62 has been keeping a clean wheel. Best average finish of the heats. And he's Thomas Troxel. I mean, you know, he's one of the best drivers out there, as we saw last year in the Wall Cup Series. Honestly, early, before Drew Webb came through and just crushed the competition, we all thought Troxel was the main favorite to win the Wall Cup Series championship last year. And as the season went on, they did find some struggles on the speedways. I think that's definitely where they ended up struggling. But they were very good on the short tracks there at Pacific Racing. And you know what? This is a short track here tonight, short track next week. I think this fits Troxel's style very well as he goes for second there on Luna Lona.
Defiantly so. Push her out of the way there pretty much. I will say, Alex, did you really just pick someone to win? Did you see how that worked?
I'm not you, man. Sorry, I'm not you. I'm allowed to pick someone and not jinx them.
I mean, that's fair. that is very fair.
Not a good run for Gutierrez or Alfred. Those are two guys who had great runs last week overall, and they actually had great runs in the heat races, but not a good run here in the feature. They're about 6 seconds off the race lead, so might take a caution for them to get back into this thing. It's a tough break for those guys because Gutierrez had a shot at taking the points lead, especially after winning the first heat here tonight. And Avery Alford as well. They were only 1 point apart from each other. They're going to be 2 points apart the way things are going right now. You know, Drew's pulling out pretty well here. 1.8 seconds, and you know what? Not a surprise to see Drew Webb have a solid run here tonight. Obviously won 6 races last year, looking for his 7th career win on the channel, but his first outside the Wall Cup Series. Of course, he hasn't really made too many starts outside the Wall Cup Series to begin with, but I don't know, Drew Webb going into the Wall Cup Series next year, I think he's going to definitely be the favorite, especially with Igor Barreto back at Italian Fury Racing. You know, they have the same team as they did last year. And Drew Webb definitely putting the hammer down here tonight at South Boston. Luna Lona back to the inside of Troxel there for second.
As they race for second, that 99 is pulling away about 0.2 a lap. And we're getting to a point now, it's going to be hard to catch them, even if Lona or the 62 is able to put together some good laps here. That is a long, long way that they are going to have to catch. Although, of course, right when I say that, 0.2 gain there by the 00. But still, about a straightaway between first and second.
And you can kind of see the difference here from the spectator cam. And Drew Webb closing in there on Matt Tuck, and he's probably going to run into him before the end of this race. And this is the most we've seen these guys spread out all night long. No one's really on each other right now. Hey, Brett Hill kind of rebounding fairly well. Up to 6th right there. Thanksgiving 500 champion there with another Thanksgiving 500 champion of the past. Troxel there looking to get on Luna Lona for position. And he's going to be able to get the nose to the inside right there. You know, these guys just keep on battling for second place. That's allowing this 99 to really just pull away with this thing. However, Drew Webb will not be the points leader. He came into this thing with only 19 total points, 17 behind Ludovic Charette. And even though he did gain a decent amount of points in the heats compared to Charette, not going to be enough to surpass the 51, who will still lose the points lead, more likely than not to Nicholas Samedillo. So we'll have to see how that all ends up shaking out. Vinny, though, going to get to the inside of the 59, and Samedillo's going to go wide. That's for the 6th position right there. And Brett Hill's in the top 5. He's coming on strong here late in the going. Oh, and Lona. Ooh, a little squirrely there. She's going to lose a lot of ground.
Back up the track she goes again. I think both her and Samedillo kind of falling back into the clutches of just going up the track, losing the momentum, and really plummeting. And right now they're both starting to suffer that, but especially Lona, 62 though, got only 10 laps to close 2.5 seconds. Oh, that's a tall task. But
maybe
who knows?
Made a little easier with Matt Tuck just ahead of Drew Webb right here. But his 54 is still kind of up to speed enough. But actually, the 54 might be going just slow enough where it holds up Drew Webb enough to maybe reel Troxel in, and especially now that Troxel does not have anyone battling with him, as Lona falls all the way back to the now 6th position, as Samedillo still holding on to the 7th position right there. You know, I don't know who the points leader. I think it's still going to probably be Samedillo. But not a good run here in the feature for him. I'll say that much. Drew Webb closing in here, but, you know, these laps here at South Boston are very, very short. Brett Hill trying to get a podium here tonight. He's on Ludovic Charette right there.
Great recovery for Hill, considering the heats that he had. And yeah, now up to 3rd place. And a great run there for the Thanksgiving 500 winner, which, yeah, we keep thinking back to that race and how awesome that was to call that with both you and I think that was Caleb. That was we were calling that.
Don't forget
awesome.
Caleb, man. Yeah, he's just the second-hand man on the channel right now. Oh, we missed it. Drew Webb made easy work there on Matt Tuck. You know, Brett Hill might get second out of all this. Trying to close in on Thomas Troxel. You know, that's 2 points right there, and you know, Troxel wants to get as many points as he can. I know he came in last in points, but you know, he's still going to have a shot at this title going into next week's race, but he's going to lose a couple right there to Brett Hill, and oh boy, you know, You know what could happen with Drew Webb in a dominating race on the last lap going into the last turn. You know what I'm talking about, right, Andrew? You gotta remember that one.
A little race at Michigan.
You see, if you know it, then everyone knows it.
Oh yeah.
Braden Perez, the beneficiary of that. I gotta make a decision on who I want in the final race of New Smyrna. Of course, you guys get to pick one, but then I also have a choice as well, and there's so many guys. Obviously, I took the 2 special event winners, obviously clear choices, but this third one's going to be tough. I'm thinking Braden Perez, Mr. Steal You Win. I'd love to see him maybe put one on Drew Webb again at New Smyrna, but you know what? No one's going to put one on Drew Webb here tonight. Coming to the white flag here at South Boston. Almost a 5-second lead on the field. We got a lot of battling going on for second place. 1 to go for Drew Webb. Ludovic Charette is taken second away from Brett Hill. Vinny's taken position away from Troxel, and Sam Benio looking to finish in 6th, but no one, and I mean no one, getting to this guy here tonight. Drew Webb wins at South Boston in the Champion Superstar Series. Ludovic Charette, Brett Hill, Vinny Scholes, Thomas Troxel, Sam Benio, Luna Lona, Blaine Keys, Angel Gutierrez, and then the 4 of Avery Alford, finishing in the 10th position right there with Matt Tuck and Stuart Grattan. That's the official finishing results here for the feature event of the night at South Boston Speedway.
And Alex, I'm just going to say this right now with Drew Webb, with his performance in the Cup Series last year and then the performance that we just saw here, you got to think that you're possibly witnessing the rise of a driver here on the channel. Like, to the level
of AG the channel. maybe
I would argue that has been like guys like Stamadeo for a while, but maybe Webb's the new guy. Maybe he's going to be the Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I mean, you talk about Drew Webb. I think the guy right behind him as well, Ludovic Charette. Those are 2 guys who came in last year. Both of them. Now, Drew Webb obviously, went crazy, but Ludovic Charette won the Turkey Hill Truck Series Championship. He's going to be with Grattan Autosport in the Wawa Cup Series. Those 2 guys in particular, kind of this new wave of drivers that came in last year, they never made a start before 2023, who have clearly made their mark. Obviously, the 2 main Stock Car Series champions last year. Obviously the Sam Benios, the Troxels are still there. They're kicking it. Same with Blaine Keys as well. Obviously I know this race, didn't see much, but, those guys obviously still got a lot of it. I get what you're saying right there, though, with Drew Webb, and I'm intrigued to see because, and we'll talk a lot about this tomorrow night. Oh boy, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. We're gonna be like the Pat McAfee show, going crazy with all the stuff that we're gonna be talking about. I'm gonna be amped up for it. Let's just put it that way. But either way, it's gonna be a lot of fun seeing who ends up in the position near the end of the year based on what we saw last year. I think we're gonna have a lot more drivers in the Wawa Cup Series who are going to be at the level Drew Webb was. I think a lot of guys figured some things out. You're going to have more teams that have things figured out. The new teams coming in, I know those guys are going to be doing their ratings every week, so you're going to have a larger threshold of good teams. So, man, I'm telling you, we're looking forward to it. And you know what? We're getting closer. Tomorrow night, signups. Discord only. Of course, we do it on the Discord because of the ratings. That Google form will go up at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The first 12 people to sign up will be put in the Wawa Cup Series draft, and then the next 10 go to the Hers Sprint Series for full-time rides. And then the owners are going to pick you guys. So the owners who still have the spots left, they're going to pick you. They're going to have a whole draft order. And, you don't get much of a say on where you go, but you know what? You're still going to probably end up with a good ride regardless if you're one of those first 12. Hey, Andrew, you don't have to worry about that. You're already with NS Racing. I know you guys are looking to maybe get some wins and contend for a title. I'm excited to see what you guys do. I'm excited to see what everyone does in the Wawa Cup Series. We'll talk more about that tomorrow night. Back to the Superstar Series. Drew Webb gets it done. Ludovic Charette finishing second, but I think your new points leader is going to be Nicholas Samadillo. But you guys will see that right after we are done here. But final thoughts on this rate, and what are you looking forward to next week at New Smyrna Speedway?
A lot more of what we saw here, I think. Of course, everyone would be very aggressive here tonight, and from what you're describing, New Smyrna is going to be more of the same, and especially with a championship on the line, like you're saying, it is going to be a thrilling race. And because I have this opportunity, I'll say, it's your boy Top Dragster. Remember me, vote for me, maybe. for that final race?
The thing is, though,
Just
by the
saying.
time this goes up, I
It's
think
I'm a
the
nostalgia
voting
act.
for it is already going to be done by the time, you see that. So you can do your
Oh, darn it.
yeah, you can do your campaign going on in the Discord. You can do it right now. You can do it right now at the time of us recording this. Hey, that's not up yet,
I'll go
so
do that.
Yeah, but like when it does go up, probably tomorrow at some point. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who gets it. And I got to choose someone too. For that last spot, I'm thinking here. We'll have to see who gets it, but I'm gonna have to do some research here because I knew my first two. We'll see what the third one is. We'll have some fun with it. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching here tonight. Hope you guys had fun, and of course tomorrow night, big night here as well on the channel. Got the draft lottery before signups at 7. Then we got the Wawa Cup Series draft at 7:30. You're gonna see where everyone slots in. Herd Sprint Series draft at 8 for those full-time rides in the Herd Sprint Series. Of course, the Herd Sprint Series, a lot like the Wawa Sprint Series, we'll still have those guys signing up every week. And, of course, we'll talk a lot about the Wawa Cup Series. We'll do some interviews, bring some drivers in. Hey, I might bring you in tomorrow night. That'll be a lot of fun talking to you, talking to a lot of guys. Caleb will be with us more than likely. We'll have a lot of guys. We'll have a lot of fun talking about Wawa Cup Series action coming up in just 2 weeks from New Smyrna with the Meliola Smooth Fest. That's it for me here tonight. Thank you so much to Andrew Miller for joining me here for this feature event from South Boston Speedway. Congratulations to Mr. Drew Webb. 7th career win on the channel. The Wawa Cup Series champion gets the win here tonight. But he ain't going to be the points leader. It's Nicholas Samedeo going in to New Smyrna with the points lead. And you know what? He's a Florida guy, so we'll have to see if he can get it done at one of his home tracks, kind of. We'll see if he gets it pulled off there. New Smyrna next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, congratulations to Drew Webb. And here are the points for the Superstar Series after the second round. Only one more round to go before we crown a champion here. And it's on the Wawa Cup Series. Huge thanks to Andrew Miller once again. Congratulations to Drew Webb. And as always, I will see you guys later.